Hare Krishna. So we are continuing reading about the how to chant. Yesterday we learned about how to uh, chant on the beats, what beats consists of. So so today we'll be continuing from the attentive chanting. Try to withdraw your mind from sense objects and concentrate exclusively on the sound of the mantra. Meditate on the meaning of the mantra and don't allow other thoughts or external influences to distract you. Through Through devoted concentration on the syllables of the holy name, you will realize step by step the form, the qualities, the pastimes of God. Please read more attentive chanting on page 132. Clearly pronouncing the holy name. Another advice from Srila Prabhupada is to clearly pronounce the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Chanting involves the activities of the upper and lower lips as well as the tongue. All three must be engaged in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The words Hare Krishna should be very distinctly pronounced and heard. Sometimes one mechanically produces hissing sound instead of chanting the proper pronunciation with the help of the lips and tongue. Chanting is very simple, but one must practice it seriously. How fast should one chant? According to Srila Prabhupada, the round should be chanted swiftly, so that constant flow of the holy name can flood the consciousness and stop the mental process of incessant accepting and rejecting. Swiftly means neither too slow, then the mind drifts away, nor too fast because then the pronunciation becomes indistinct. If one chants properly, he needs around 7 minutes for one round. This may vary more or less between individuals by 1 minute. Neophytes especially often tend to chant as soon as possible, as fast as possible. But in the beginning, it is better to chant slowly and distinctly instead of fast and unclearly. By constant practice, chanting will be swifter by itself. On the other hand, it is a sign of missing concentration and experience if one needs more than 8 minutes. The slower chanter, however, should not consider the fast chanting of the experienced devotee as mechanical, emotionless recitation. They know the art. Basically, chanting is very simple, but it must be seriously practiced. Also, we should not forget that to chant distinctly is an essential service to Krishna, not something that steals our time we need for other services. As long as the body is healthy, one should chant the holy name of the Lord loudly and distinctly. Then, at the time of death, it is most likely that one would chant the holy name properly with love and faith and go back home, back to spiritual world. Proper pronunciation. One should also try to overcome one's poor pronunciation that is due to the cultural reasons. In some languages, the letter R does not exist. Therefore, instead of Hare Rama, one chants Hare Lama. Some devotees tend to pronounce the R indistinctly. On the other hand, some like to chant Krishna, producing the R deep in the throat. Both should be avoided. When Srila Prabhupada came with his first Western disciples to India, he was criticized by some Brahmanas. Swamiji, your disciples cannot even pronounce the Mahamantra properly. Prabhupada replied, yes, therefore I have brought them to India that they learn it from you. Sanskrit pronunciation is exactly defined, unlike the English language, where a certain letter can be pronounced in different ways, like the A in have and hard. The different letters of the Sanskrit alphabet are always pronounced in the same way. The consonants, for example, are divided into five groups according to where the sound is produced in the mouth. There are sounds uttered in the throat, at the rear of the palate, at the top of the palate, at the teeth, with the lips. The different consonants are thus arranged in a systematical order as illustrated on the next page. One who understands this system can easily learn to proper Sanskrit pronunciation. We can see that all consonants in Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which are produced by the tongue, namely Hare Krishna Rama, belong to the middle group. The tongue is slightly bent backwards and vibrates at the topmost part of the palate. The letter R in Krishna Although a vowel is uttered in the same way more clearly, the tongue produces sound R, but it pronounced like re. The Western tongue is quite unaccustomed to these sounds, especially ra and r. They don't exist in any Western language. However, with little practice, they can be learnt. This has, besides proper pronunciation, a great advantage. The tongue does not move to and fro in the mouth while chanting the Hare Krishna. It stays almost at one place, as illustrated by image 3, and just vibrates. There, thus, chanting is easier with less effort and energy. The holy name appears more swiftly as Srila Prabhupada wanted. The mantra can flow in an undisturbed way, so to say. If they put it in a picture view, first one is in the throat, ka, ka, ga, gha, na, ha. With the tongue at the rear of the palate, cha, cha, ja, jha, na, ya, sha. With the tongue at the top of palate, tha, tha, dha, dha, na, ra, sa. With the tongue at the teeth, ta, tha, da, dha, na, la, sa. With the lips, pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, va. The different pronunciation of the words is also important. The short in Hare Krishna and Rama is closed, like in but. The long in Rama is open, like in far. This contrast should be clearly heard. The E in Hare is pronounced like in red, but longer, not E like in they, as it's sometimes heard. The consonants ha, ma are spoken like English, hut, and mud. If you go through all the letters of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, examining them by above rules, you will quickly get acquainted with their pronunciation and your chanting will increase in quality. The proper meter and rhythm. One of the most important features in speaking Sanskrit mantras is the proper rhythm. Like the pronunciation, it is exactly defined without any exceptions and thus easy to learn. There are only two kinds of syllables. They are either short or long. Long syllables are twice as long as the short ones. Syllables are short if they contain the word, if they contain a short vowel, namely A, I, U, R. If they are followed by only one consonant or if they are at the end of the line. Thus, the following syllables are short in Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They all have a short A and are all followed by only one consonant. Hare Krishna Rama. All other syllables are long, that as if they contain a long vowel, namely A, I, U, Ra, I, O, Au. Or if they are followed by more than one consonant, thus the following syllables are long in the Mahamantra. Hare, long vowel E, Krishna, short vowel R, but ensued by two consonants and N, Rama, long vowel A. With this information, the Mahamantra can be chanted in the proper meter. U is a short and a long syllable. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If due to unfamiliarity with Sanskrit pronunciation, you find this section a little difficult, please do not worry. You can learn the ideal pronunciation by obtaining a japa tape of Srila Prabhupada chanting. I think we can stop here. So, so the main thing today we discussed is how do we do attentively chanting, so that we can, concentrate our mind and sense objects exclusively on the sound of Mahamantra. Then also clearly pronouncing the holy name, for a lot of, non Indian background or, Western people from Western countries, they may not have, heard Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and it's a little bit harder the way, words and letters need to be pronounced. So, and also it's Maharaj explained detail in how to chant, and and also Prabhupada asked us to chant swiftly, not too slow, not too fast. And whole idea is to balance and have the consciousness and don't lose track of what we chant and hear. So I think that is the rhythm one has to maintain, and it only usually takes 7 minutes to chant with a proper pronunciation, and it can go 1 minute lower or higher, depend upon how long we have been practicing and how much attention we give it to the mantra. And I think it's very elaborately described. I think I'm thinking of, I was remembering my childhood pastimes, pronouncing these letters, especially in Indian language, you have all those letters, and in English, we only have 26, but it clearly says for the new, not familiar with the, regular alphabets, how do we pronounce in this, Sanskrit and bring the proper sound and also a meter and rhythm. And I think, yeah, this is very elaborate.